Well, add the Morning Midas to the ever-growing list of cargo ships crippled or destroyed, purely coincidentally of course, while carrying electric vehicles of some sort. The official story is frequently very careful to avoid blaming EVs, because that goes against the global net zero narrative. But the Felicity Ace fire in 2022 was almost certainly caused by a Porsche EV battery, and the Volkswagen Audi group are currently being sued by the ship's operator and its insurer to recover the losses. Check out my video here about that. The Fremantle Highway was also carrying a large consignment of EVs when it mysteriously caught fire in 2023. The report has yet to be released, although initial claims are that the EV decks were unaffected. But then we must ask why the fire suppression systems that seem to have worked on these ships so well for decades are suddenly unable to cope. Then we have the MV Delphine, which again caught fire while transporting EVs. And again, the owners have been careful to avoid blaming EVs, but note that they say it was not caused by a fully electric vehicle, which of course leaves open the possibility that it was in fact a hybrid. And again, we must ask why the suppression systems failed. And today we have the Morning Midas, another Chinese car carrier which has been abandoned in the Pacific after a fire broke out and was unable to be contained by the systems on board. Can't think why that might be. Welcome back to MGUY, British engineer and lawyer, now Sydney-based YouTuber. Please make sure you've clicked that subscribe button down below and enabled all notifications so you don't miss out on any future videos. And if you'd like to support this channel, why not buy me a coffee? Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. Cargo ships like this have very comprehensive fire suppression systems in place that are more than capable of extinguishing any regular fire that might occur in a vehicle being transported. What they cannot do, however, is deal with a lithium battery fire, which, because of the presence of an oxidizer within the battery itself, does not respond to being flooded with an inert gas like carbon dioxide. Don't worry about the emissions, by the way. And which eventually drains the cylinders, the fire takes over and the ship burns out. Even if the source of the fire is not a lithium-ion battery, their mere presence in the cargo means that if they become involved, they may as well have started it, because they're going to be the big problem. In this case, the operators have already admitted that the fire started on a deck carrying EVs, so it's too late to cover up this particular incident. Crew evacuated from Zodiac maritime vehicle carrier in Pacific Ocean after fire. The 2006-built pure car and truck carrier was on passage from China to Mexico when smoke was witnessed on one of its vehicle decks. All 22 crew members were evacuated using the vessel's lifeboat and are being transferred to a nearby container ship. The incident is the latest in a line of serious fires on board large ro-ro type ships. All crew have been evacuated from a vehicle carrier that has suffered a fire in the Pacific Ocean and are being transferred to a container ship in the vicinity. London headquartered Zodiac Maritime, owner of the 5,000 CEU car equivalent units, pure car and truck carrier Morning Midas, confirmed that the incident occurred at around midnight UCT on June 3rd, during the vessel's passage from Yantai, China to Lázaro Cárdenas, Mexico. The 2006-built ship is laden with some 3,000 vehicles, with 800 of them said to be electric vehicles. Smoke was initially seen emanating from a deck carrying electric vehicles, said Zodiac Maritime, which confirmed that all crew are safe and accounted for, with no reports of any injuries. The crew immediately initiated emergency firefighting procedures using the vessel's onboard fire suppression systems. However, despite their efforts, the situation could not be brought under control. And we know why. Because, as reported elsewhere, the carbon dioxide cylinders that formed part of the vessel's fire suppression system were exhausted, and yet the batteries kept on burning, because oxygen starvation doesn't work on lithium-ion battery fires. The incident is the latest in a line of fires to have occurred on board large ro-ro type tonnage. Last month, CLDN's 8,000 lane-metre ro-ro cargo ship Delphine suffered a fire at the port of Zeebrugge, resulting in numerous new cars being written off. Attention has become more focused in recent years on the carriage of electric vehicles equipped with lithium-ion batteries, which are thought to have contributed to several total loss incidents of vehicle carriers. Nevertheless, so far none of the incidents have proven to be caused by electric vehicles. Well, not proven maybe, but almost certainly connected. Either a lithium-ion battery was involved in these fires, or alternatively the suppression systems are not working as intended, and either way there's a problem. We're faced here with the same issue we have with EVs on dry land. Whilst they may occur infrequently, when they do occur the results can be catastrophic. At sea, the potential losses are even worse, such as destroying or sinking an entire cargo ship. The Australian Maritime Safety Authority has already issued guidelines for the carriage of battery electric vehicles, which would deter many carriers from even trying to comply, and instead they take the easy option of simply banning them outright. Some ferry companies are already doing precisely that. It's just not worth the risk. But with the mad dash to net zero and to electrify everything, that's not an option for the Chinese EV manufacturers, who will need to send their cheap cars around the world. Once again, it will be the insurance companies that will eventually have to evaluate this risk and place an appropriate premium on continuing to insure ships carrying EVs. This will be passed on to customers in the form of even higher prices, as shipping these vehicles by sea inevitably becomes more and more risky and more expensive. Thanks very much for watching, really hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any tips or stories, go there. If you'd like to watch another video, go there. If you'd like to buy me a coffee, go there. And please subscribe to the channel.